A city tried to get rid of cobras, and somehow it may have ended up with even more cobras. It sounds like a joke. It is not. According to the famous version of the story, officials in Delhi during British rule had a cobra problem, so they offered money for every dead cobra people brought in. Sounds reasonable. Too many venomous snakes. Pay people to remove them. Problem solved, right? No. Because the moment you pay for a dead cobra, the cobra stops being only a danger. Now it is also a product. Picture the city first. Dusty streets, courtyards, doors half open against the heat, officials at wooden desks, coins changing hands, baskets on the ground, people trying to live a normal day in a place where a hood can suddenly rise out of the wrong corner. That is the setup. The clean plan is simple. Bring in a dead cobra and get paid. Clear rule, clear reward. Very tidy on paper. And this is where the plan changed shape. The city wanted fewer living cobras in the streets, but the reward did not pay for safer streets. It did not pay for fewer nests. It did not pay for a city where people could stop checking the ground before taking a step. It paid for dead cobras delivered to a desk. Because people do not always follow the goal. Very often, they follow the reward. At first, the numbers probably looked fantastic. More dead cobras arrived. More payments went out. Some report probably looked cleaner every week. And somewhere, you can imagine a very serious official looking at a growing pile of snake bodies and thinking, "Excellent, we are winning." But there was one tiny problem. If one dead cobra equals money, then two dead cobras equals more money. And if enough dead cobras equal enough money, then eventually somebody looks at the rule and sees not a safety policy, but a business opportunity. Not a villain in a lair, just a person doing the math. Wait, what if I make more of the thing they are paying me to destroy? And that is the trap. According to the story as it is usually told, some people began breeding cobras just to kill them and collect the reward. Which is such an absurd sentence that your brain tries to reject it on contact. Breed snakes. To solve the snake problem. From the outside, though, the policy could still look successful. Dead cobras kept arriving. Coins kept moving. Officials kept counting. The street did not. Because if all you measure is the number of snake bodies placed on a desk, you do not see the baskets being filled behind doors or the problem growing in the shadows while the paperwork smiles at you. It is like paying people for every bucket of water they bring out of a flooded room, then acting shocked when someone upstairs starts running a hose, so eventually the authorities are supposed to have realized what was happening. This reward is not reducing cobras, it is encouraging cobra farming, so they stop paying, which sounds like the obvious fix, until the next question arrives. If people have been breeding cobras for money, and now the money is gone, what exactly are those people supposed to do with the cobras? Keep them? Feed them? Teach them manners? No. According to the famous version of the story, many were simply released, so the city tries to reduce snakes, pays people to produce more snakes, stops paying, and ends up with more snakes. That is not a fix. That is a machine for manufacturing your own failure. That is the Cobra Effect. A system tries to solve one problem, but because it rewards the wrong thing, people adapt to the reward and make the original problem worse. An incentive is just a signal that says, do this and you get something. Money, status, praise, points. Some tiny reward that teaches people what matters in the system. Pay people to clean a street and the street may get cleaner. Reward kids for finishing homework, and more homework may get finished. But incentives are slippery. Because people do not always do what you meant. They do what you reward. And once you see it, You start seeing little cobra farms everywhere. A company rewards staff for closing customer calls quickly. So the calls get shorter, the metric improves. The customer is still confused. The number looks better. The problem is still alive. A school rewards test performance above everything else. So lessons narrow. Memorizing rises. Curiosity gets pushed to the side. A platform rewards attention. So calm explanation loses to outrage, drama, panic, and whoever can make the loudest mess in the shortest time. Again, the chart goes up. And again, the real world gets stranger. That is why bad incentives are so dangerous. They do not arrive looking evil. They arrive looking practical, efficient, measurable. They say, we found a target. We can prove progress. And then off to the side, someone quietly starts breeding cobras. The strangest part is that the people inside the system may not even feel dishonest. They may feel clever, practical, efficient. They may say, I am only doing what the rule rewards, and that is true. That is also the problem. A badly designed rule can turn normal people into expert loophole hunters without ever asking them to become villains. The lesson is that humans are adaptive. We bend around systems. We search for the shortest path. We learn what gets rewarded and move toward it. Put the cookie on the table and people walk to the table. Put it behind a cobra and eventually someone opens a cobra farm. That is why solving problems is harder than it looks. You can not only ask, what do we want? You also have to ask, what behavior are we paying for? Because those two things are not always the same. You might want learning, but reward memorizing. You might want safety, but reward hiding mistakes. You might want trust, but reward whatever looks good in the report. And once people learn what the system truly pays for, the system starts teaching them back. A rule is not just a rule. It is a teacher. It teaches what matters. It teaches what gets noticed. It teaches what can be ignored. And if it teaches the wrong lesson, people can follow it perfectly and still build a disaster. Even if the exact historical proof is not perfectly clean, the pattern behind it is real. Bad measurements can create fake progress, and when you reward the wrong thing becomes the job. So the next time somebody says, we have a simple solution, do not only ask whether it sounds smart, ask what happens next, ask who benefits. Ask what people will do when nobody is watching. Ask what the rule actually rewards, because the scariest question is not just, will this solve the problem? The scariest question is this: what new problem does this quietly pay people to create? That is where the cobras live. If you liked this one, the next video is right here. Go watch that. And as always, let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching, dummies. I'll see you in the next one.